Best of r/confessions episode 2. Subscribe for edit videos daily. I'm not entirely convinced we're not living in a simulation. I try to talk to people about this all the time, mostly just my close friends though. They always dismiss my thoughts as crazy. I'm not some big conspiracy theorist, but seriously, I just feel like none of this is real. I recently learned about astral projection, which only supports my ideas. I know, deep down, that it's crazy to think we're living in a simulation, but goddamn, I can't get the thought that nothing is real out of my head. Thank you. Next. Does anyone else want to die after they orgasm? I get intense post-nut clarity, but I'm a girl and I can't nut. Basically I get really horny, fap it to some porn, but after I orgasm I genuinely feel so dirty and want to die. Like in the moment the porn is so hot, but after I orgasm I'm disgusted in myself for watching it. Like I watch some weird ass shit. I'm talking about cock and ball torture type shit, sadism and stuff like that. Like I feel so grossed out and actually want to die after watching the porn I watch immediately after I'm finished. In real life I don't have these kinks, but I only get horny from weird kink porn, and after I orgasm I want to die. Thank you. Next. I know my girlfriend's Reddit account that she doesn't want me to know. I only found out in the past week or so, and I upvote everything she posts because she is very kind and helpful to everyone she talks to. It's nice to see all the little things she's interested in, like her makeup and phone game subreddits. She'll probably eventually see this because she frequents here sometimes and she'll probably get mad at me. But if you see it, I love you. And if you don't, then still love you. Edit. She found out FML. Edit 2. For those wondering, she wasn't all that fussed or annoyed, just fairly embarrassed that I had seen what she posts on it. Shout out to the people that gave their negative input. Never fails to give me a big old smile on my face, and I hope you all have a good day. Not being sarcastic or patronizing for your information. Thank you. Next. I did a bad thing to my teacher. In grade 1 my teacher got us all around for story time, but I kinda sat at the back close to her desk, and eventually out of boredom I weaseled my way back behind the desk. Behind the desk I found her tall soft leather boots and a pack of straight pins. I guess out of sheer boredom I proceeded to stick about 50 straight pins through the outside of the boots to the inside, leaving them poking out like a reverse porcupine. I don't even remember what I was thinking, but at the end of story time I just went back to my desk. She may have told me to get out from behind her desk. Everything was okay until the last few minutes of class, and she took off her shoes and pulled on her boots, making all the pins go down. Once she stood up, a few of the pins must have got her because she screamed, sat back down and tried to pull the boots back off, causing all the pins to dig into her leg. By this time she is flopping around screaming, "I'm pissing my pants." Because I was a little kid, I didn't think it through to the point where pushing pins in boots was bad. I remember being in the hallway when the ambulance guys cut off her boots. Sorry, but I was only 6. Thank you. Next. I want to make myself feel bad, so I've always had a hard time believing in myself. So much so that whenever anyone compliments me I can come up with at least 2 different reasons as to why I don't deserve it. But I realize that when I get into fights, especially with my so who is so supportive and loving, I decide that I'm the worst person on the planet and find reasons to be more sad. It has gotten to the point where I intentionally go and seek negative feedback on bad days so I can feel worse. I don't know why I do it. I just know that I am. And I think it's about time I acknowledged it. So to all those that read this, thank you for letting me get this off my chest. Thank you. Next. As a straight male, I find hentai girls repulsive. They have these unrealistically huge eyes and baby girl voices. It's so gross and repulsive. I like the big tits, but seriously, I wouldn't date a girl like that. This is an insult to nature, an abomination. Thank you. Next. I think about suicide often. It scares the shit out of me. On mobile yada yada yada. Possible trigger warning. Honestly, I make most of the problems in my life simply due to stupidity. I forget simple everyday things often, which puts stress on my marriage. My wife has issues too, mostly to do with anger. When she gets angry over my stupidity she says incredibly hurtful things that I meant to cut me deep, and they do. I often think of killing myself, but I know in my heart I will never go through with it because, like most, death scares the fuck out of me. but more so because I can't imagine leaving my 3 kids without their dad. That thought tears me apart. So I can't get away from this feeling, but I would never act on it. In other words, I feel trapped in my mind every single day of my life. I don't want or need sympathy, I just needed to get this out to someone.